I get up, no, 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 I get up, no, no.
Hi, thank you for tuning in. Welcome back to Vita-Mind-B. Vita-Mind-B is a video series that help you or guide you how to train a healthy mind from A to Z step by step. So previously I have already shared all the ideas and steps that I've taken myself from A to M. So this week I'm going to share with you the steps in O. So the first thing I want to share is open mind. Whenever we want to learn something, or if we want to, like right now, if you are on the path of building a healthy mind, or even building anything, your career, your emotional intelligence, all these are also related to healthy mind as well. So to do that, the first thing is not about gaining knowledge, it's not about reading a book, it's not even about making free time. It's all about having an open mind. Because whenever you are not ready in your mind that you want to accept something new into your life, especially all these ways or maybe methods and or even motivational speaker talks and stuff like that, if you don't have an open mind, all these things that you hear, there would be this little voice that is in the back of your mind that tells you, oh, they're just saying that or sharing this successful story because they have already done it, they have already been successful, so probably they are just making it short, making us believe that these things are easy, or they're trying to sell us something. This is all these small little voices that you would have if you don't have an open mind. And if you don't have an open mind, how would you even start to be in the path towards building a healthy mind? So basically, first thing first is to make sure that you would be open to ideas or advice about all these probably advice or all these methods that people share with you. Or sometimes it would be life story, because a lot of people would like to share about themselves, and all these stories that started from them being nothing to whatever successful path or career they are right now. They are telling all these stories from the start all the way, probably a big leap, just because they want you to know that it is possible for you as well. They're trying to inspire you from their own story. If you don't have an open mind, how would you even gauge, or how would you even gain any insights or aha moments from all these stories or even interviews that people share? I love listening to podcasts, I love listening to interviews, and all these successful people have taught me something, is that you can always have a mentor that you've never met. Jay Shetty, I think you've heard of his name. His business mentor is what's his name again? Oh my god, it's at the tip of my tongue. Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs, as we all know, have passed, but his ideas and his talent and his marketing skills are something that we can always learn from, even if Steve Jobs is not here in person anymore. So all these things, all this knowledge and all these ideas and steps, they're all over the internet, or you can say it's all in your pocket today. If you don't have an open mind, how would you even have access to all this knowledge? if you want to train a healthy mind, if you want to be content on the path towards building a healthy mind or building your own fulfilled self, you need to start with an open mind. So after sharing about open mind, I would also like to dive into the second O, which is obsession. When you first heard about obsession, it might come to you as a bad idea because we've heard people that, well, when I hear this word, it first comes to me as the OCD, obsessive controlling disorder. So when people get obsessed about something, they might go over the board, they might go do something that normal behavior wouldn't gauge or wouldn't understand, stuff like that. But what I was meaning to share about obsession here is that I would like you to have really a great clarity about the goal that you want to achieve, whether you want a great relationship, whether you want to achieve a great career, whether you want to achieve fulfillment or content, or whether you want to have a beautiful home, or you want to have a great travel experience. All these things, I want you to be obsessed achieving it in a healthy way. So think of it this way: when you're obsessed into learning something, let's just say a new language, if you have that obsession, you would listen to it every single day, build the momentum, show up every day, and then you will be a master of it. Because you know how even if you spend 1 hour every day studying one single topic that you have clarity on, that you really want to master that subject, 1 year you have 365, or in this year that's 366 hours of learning that. How can you not be a master of that? So when I want you to think about obsession, think of it a healthy way. That would also help you to build a healthy mind based on the momentum that you are following. So Brendon Burchard, he was suicidal. He had a really bad breakup and he really wanted to end his own life, and then he got into a huge accident that he almost literally lost his life, but at that moment he knew that he didn't want to die. So what does he have to do to continue living his life, but not with the same thinking or mindset that he wants to end his life?
I went to the seminars about the audio courses, so I'm listening to Dale Carnegie and Napoleon Hill and Earl Nightingale and Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar and Louise Hay and Marianne Williamson and Debbie Ford and Tony Robbins and Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, Brian Tracy, and I went down deep. Like, I'm very much like you, I'm obsessive.
That sounds pretty legit, right? So what he did was he listened to all these people, podcasts, books. He learned from all these people. Well, of course, to do that, first of all, you would also need to have open mind, like I've shared before, and then you move on into obsession. When you have that momentum, that obsession to learn something, to gain this knowledge, you will get it because you have that commitment to it. You promise yourself that you want to make something out of this topic. So that's when you can also build your own mindset to be strong enough to be on pace with that momentum and that kind of obsession.
So we are meaning-making machines, and it's what we do as humans. It's how we've survived. We've made meaning out of in the bush, you know? That means saber-toothed tiger, that means dead, right? And so we're constantly creating stories. Most of the time, these stories are not facts. They're facts within our own consciousness. we believe they're facts, but the truth of the matter is that they aren't. Most of it is a lowercase t and not a capital T. And so for me, when I'm supporting people and coaching people, I really hold the mirror up and remind them that if it can be grounded in another way, then it is not indeed a fact and more of a story that's running their lives.
From this short clip that I shared from Impact Theory, so Preston Smiles talked about this: humans are a meaning-making machine, and we've been living our life being run by beliefs, our environments, our family, or the stories that everybody else tell us. So basically, you want to take back the ownership of the story for your own life. When you take back the ownership, you would realize that sometimes it's not as bad as other people think. You might lose a job, you might lose a friend, you might lose a partner, you broke up, or you lost a job, stuff like this. The outer world would have a story for you that you're a bad person, you are a failure, you are lazy, or you're not romantic. All these are the other people's story that judge you from what happens to you.
When you find the bad story, find a way to just reverse the whole thing. I'm like, no. Because I don't have a college degree, I'm gonna fight and I'm gonna do this. Because I was always small, I'm gonna do this. Because I have no money, I'm gonna do this. Because my friends think I can't, I'm gonna do this. And all of a sudden, I started changing this story, not overnight, but over weeks. It became my empowering story. I wasn't looking at a deficit. I'm like, screw you guys. You think I'm not gonna do this because I don't have what you have? I'm gonna blow right past you, whether that's a good thought or not. At the time, it served me. That's not how I look at things now, but at the time it served me. Some of it was, and I was able to reverse that story, and that story got me through. Just like what got you from going to the couch, getting change, to where what you've created. It's unbelievable, the impact you've made on the world. But if we had the wrong story, if we had the wrong beliefs, we're screwed before we start. I'm glad that we went down this road, because if one person watching today just says, screw this old story, and you spent the time to make that an empowering story, then I think the game changes forever.
So what I would like to share with you is to take back the ownership of your life, is to tell yourself, create a story of your own perspective that support what happens to you, so that you don't be too reactive towards all these other things that happen to you. When you take ownership to tell the story, when you take back the ownership of your life, you don't have to victimize yourself based on other people's story. Do you really want to let the story run your life, or you want to be the boss and run your life? Run the story, run your life. So today I want you to start thinking, be aware of all these stories that you tell yourself. Sometimes we have all this crazy self-talk that we would talk to ourselves in a way that is so rude that we would never talk to anyone like that, not even your worst enemy. So I want you to be very much aware of the inner conversation that you have. I want you to take back ownership of that and change that story to your liking. Take back the ownership, and through that, you would be on the path of training a healthy mind and towards fulfillment. Thank you for listening to this week's video. I hope you like it. Please subscribe, and I will see you next week.